Welcome to Soccer Down Here's coverage of USL League One. And our coverage in Omaha continues with the guy between the sticks, one of the stalwarts for Union Omaha, one of the great keepers that we've seen in USL League One. You've got Pablo Jara in Statesboro with South Georgia Tormenta. You've got Dallas J in Greenville. And you have this gentleman, Rashid Nuhu, keeper for Union Omaha. Rashid, thanks for hanging out with us here for a 1v1.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. So how did you get to Fordham? That's from Ghana to Fordham. That's a bit of a plane ride. How did that happen?
Actually, I went from a high school in Connecticut called Kent. It's a boarding school. So I went there for 4 years before I got to Fordham.
What was it like hanging out in New York City playing soccer?
It was fun. I mean, it was one of my dreams to live in New York, to experience life in New York. So when Fordham came across, it was no brainer for me to choose Fordham. But I just love being in the city. And even living in Ghana, I was living in the city. So I wanted to live in the city after going to a high school in Connecticut. Definitely wanted to be in the city. So it was good.
So you go from Fordham, cup of coffee in Westchester, then into the Red Bull system, then to Union Omaha. What were those conversations like? How did they attract you? How did Union Omaha sit there and say, hey, we want you to be a part of something that we're building? What were those conversations like?
I don't know if you know, the Fordham coach right now is not the coach that coached me when I was at Fordham. The coach right now he was the scout for Red Bulls. So he knew me and because he recruited me to Red Bulls. So after my time with Red Bulls, he knew I didn't have a club. So J Mims reached out to him and he told J Mims about me. And then that's when I got in contact with J Mims, and J Mims told me to show up to preseason and he would take a look at me and see what happens. So, I mean, I just took that chance and came over, and things worked pretty well.
How much of an adjustment has it been for you to be in Nebraska playing professional soccer? Because, in conversations that I've had, I talked to Greg Hurst a while back, and Greg was in Chattanooga before he was there in Omaha, and he kind of got to see the college football mentality and how serious the fans are about college football, and see that kind of translate over to Red Wolves. And now he's getting the chance to see that again, where there are a lot of folks who are fans of the Cornhusker football, and they're getting the chance to see what Union Omaha is all about. What has that been like for you, transitioning from Fordham and Red Bulls and being up there in the tri-state, going all the way back to boarding school, to now being in the middle of the country? What's that been like for you?
I actually like it here. This is my first time coming to the Midwest, and I mean, you definitely can't compare that to New York, because New York is pretty busy and everything is right next to each other. Here it's more spread out, kind of it has the feeling of a Westchester, New York type. So which I've lived there before too. So I didn't really have difficulty getting used to things. The only thing that was hard, it's still hard, is the cold. It gets pretty cold out here. So that one is pretty tough.
So how many trips to the store did you have to make before you got your wardrobe right and getting adjusted to the cold weather?
Maybe 3 trips. Maybe 3.
Learn the value of the sweatshirt to make sure that the folks at Union Omaha have given you the fleeces and the sweats, right?
That's right.
When it comes to USL League One, I mean, there's some quality teams. Obviously, Union Omaha, with what you're a part of with Coach Mims and everybody there, top of the ladder, 2 points a match. And I know a lot of folks wanted to see, they want to see games with the heavyweights. Chattanooga comes to town a while back. You get a great draw there. There's you guys, there's Greenville, there's Chattanooga. There's a lot of folks up there at the top of the ladder. What's the level of competition like? What's it been going up against all these heavyweights for you?
It's pretty tough. Like, there's no like teams that like you feel like you just like run over. Every team is like out for the challenge. And especially us being like on top of the league, everyone is coming and giving us their best shot. So we always like teams like play their best against us. And it's hard on us too, because we have to come in 100% in every game, trying to stay on top of the league. So the competition is there. We like it. And I mean, as professional young athletes, you have to want to like compete with good players. That's where you know where you stand and where you think like things to like improve. Like good players who like show you what your weaknesses are. So it's good to have competition around the league.
What's the fan support been like there? Because, I kind of mentioned what it's been like for guys like Greg to be in college football markets and to see how it translates over to soccer. What's the fan support been like there at Warner Field and what you guys have seen around the league?
Yeah, it's been great. Like, they're always there with us, win or lose, whatever, they're there. And I mean, we love them. we love like to have them every day at like on the field. And it's like, for me, the best part is showing up at away games and like seeing some of them. That's like something like I never thought would happen. And us being a new club and having dedicated fans is really like helpful, and definitely like it's a +1 for us whenever we go to play a game.
I mean, how do you stay in as good a shape as possible, especially with a long bus ride? I mean, because I know that seats aren't, they're not reclinable, and you might have rollers accessible and things like that. But how do you stay in as good a shape, and how do you and the guys stay in as good a shape as you can, knowing that you might be spending time with layovers in airports, that you're going to have those 8-hour bus rides, that you're going to be traveling for 6 matches in a row, 7 matches in a row? How do you manage that? And what advice would you give folks who might be in those same situations, whether it's a youth team or what have you? What advice would you give younger players to manage through these kinds of situations?
Well, I think the main important thing is like nutrition and hydration, because like you're gonna fly. The times are not gonna change. What you can do is make yourself healthy, which is your nutrition and hydration, because traveling itself is like, it warms your body. Like if you're not like, you feel like, if you're not like hydrated, like you will feel it at the end of the day, which is like what like we do here. Our trainers they do give us a propel like hydration thing we add to our water just to give us flavor, and it just helps us have it like when we travel in our water bottles and just like drinking it, stay hydrated. And it helps you when like game time comes, and even before the game time, you do like want to get like stretch out like your muscles, like get loose before you go to bed, so that the next morning you feel pretty good. I mean, you won't feel 100% or like as a home game, but you feel pretty good.
With the run of form that you guys have had, top of the ladder right now, everybody's chasing you. I'm fortunate that I'm getting to talk to you during a bye week, and you're getting to watch everybody else for a change. Because of the start that you guys have had, because of the form that you guys are on, would you rather have a bye week right now, or would you rather keep playing because of the run that you're on?
I think we need it. We need it for just like for our bodies to like rest up and like recover from all the travels we've had. It's good to like, and some of the players, some of them that live close by, it's good to like get out, go see family, like to refresh our like everything, like take off our mind off the game for a little bit helps. Like, so I think we did like this bye week is gonna help us. I think it's gonna help us even more.
In talking to Greg, he said that he's spending his bye week sleeping in a little bit and going to a couple of fast food restaurants. He's having a couple of cheat meals. What are you doing during the bye week that's not during your normal week, during a match week? Are you doing anything different?
I wouldn't say I'm doing anything different except for like just sleeping in and just getting to know Omaha more, like going to like new like restaurants, like trying new things, you know, because we don't get that time to do that like when we're like busy. So it's good to like have this downtime to like do those kind of things. And also sometimes like for me too, like I've gotten to like hang out with teammates more because like sometimes just like, oh, I just see them in the locker room or like we ride in a car together. That's it. But like having this downtime, like, oh, like let me go hang out with this guy. Let me go hang out with this guy. It's like it helps getting known them even better.
So what places have you discovered with your time there in Omaha? What are some of Rashid Nuhu's hidden treasures that he has discovered?
Let me see. Oh yeah, I've been to, I mean, like it's a cheap meal though. It's an ice cream place called Cornflower. Yeah, I've been there. And there's a place called Sullivan's Steakhouse, which is it's on top of the list on like in Omaha. It's really good. It's really good.
All right, one question before we go.
Yeah.
When it comes to, and this is something that has fascinated me, and obviously with what we're seeing in the Euros and Copa America and competitions recently, when it comes to penalty kicks, without giving away too many secrets, when it comes to a penalty kick situation, how do you approach a PK? Are you the kind of guy that will talk to the shooter? Or do you want to get in somebody's head? How do you monitor what you're thinking that person's going to do when it comes to trying to get it into the net? What's the art of attacking a penalty kick for Rashid Nuhu?
I mean, for me, normally I just try to concentrate on me. I don't try to like, because I feel like sometimes when I try to distract the shooter, I get distracted too. So I just try to like stay focused and read what I used to read and just do it. If it goes the right way, I try to save it. If not, next time.
Okay. And the notebook continues. Well, Rashid, thanks for hanging out with us for a Soccer Down Here 1v1, kind of letting everybody know what it's like to be between the sticks there at Union Omaha, top of the table in USL League One with a lot of folks chasing one of a great number of quality keepers that are in USL League One. Thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1. We'll be keeping an eye on stuff and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.